place where the Kodovka River joins with the bitterly cold White Sea. A lonely house stands on a windswept cape. The closest settlement, Koida village of Arkhangelsk area, is 30 kilometers away by sea. But the Arctic Circle is right there, in a couple kilometers. There's not a living soul around, only wild animals in the White Sea swarming with fish. Ancestors of today's fishermen had been catching here fish and marine animals for many centuries. Vigorous people with strong characters, pioneers of the Russian North that enriched our world with Lomonosov, Dezhnev, Khabarov, and many others. People united by a glorious name, Pomor. From spring till late autumn, this house is inhabited by a small team of fishermen who use stationary trap nets to catch Atlantic and humpback salmon. The team is almost finished with the season. There's just a little left to reach the catch target, but the weather in early September is changing all the time. It's up to the wind direction to decide whether the fishermen will be able to finish what they started. Dubets. It's called dubets. That's the only tool we use for cleaning, because there are no other devices. It's what our fathers came up with. We don't have any other machines for removing this mud. Pomors have always been using stationary trap nets. The installation site is called Tanya. It's an ancient word. The sign's design has to do with flood and ebb tides. During high tide, fish, mostly Atlantic and humpback salmon, come closer to the shore for feeding. With the ebb, they return back to deep waters, passing through the trap. Fish come when the tide is at its highest, all the way to the coast. With the ebb, they start going this way. They come into the neck part and remain there because they cannot leave this pot. This is called a pot. Being a fisherman runs in Yakov Papo's family. He's been working on Tanya Big Kidi for 16 years, from spring till autumn. It's September now, and the net fishing season is coming to an end. Tomorrow, for the first time this summer, Yakov will finally go on a vacation. Back home, in the ancient Pomor village, Koida, he has a wife.
Well, of course I get worried. Anything can happen. How are they? How's their health and everything?
Just a bit left. We need to catch a bit more. As long as the weather is good and there's access, it will be okay. Well, it's time, guys. All packed? Have a good rest. Catch a lot of fish. Sure, enjoy your break. Say hi to everyone. I'll say hi to whoever I meet. And don't forget to come back in 3 days. I'll rest for 3 days and don't get bored. The least likely thing. Okay then, let's get it over with. Get a good catch. Bye, guys. Yeah, no need for a long farewell. It won't be long. Everything will be fine. Cheers. Bye. For 3 days, Valery and Yuri will take care of everything by themselves. Then Yakov is facing a long journey back to their native village, Koida, located 30 kilometers away. It might seem like a short way, but in reality it takes half a day. First, driving the tractor along the coast, and then waiting several hours for the high tide to take a boat ride straight to Koida. The first people to settle in the ancient village of Koida, located at the place where an eponymous river flows into the White Sea, were refugees from the Pomor villages. In the early 18th century, in the course of the Great Northern War, Pomor lands were often invaded by Swedes. Losing everything they owned, people were forced to move to a more hard-to-reach area. That's how, in 1701, first inhabitants of Koida, Semyon Karelsky and Ivan Maligin, came to live here. Records from those times describe it in this way. They have found their abode in two houses, in a desolate place abound with gorges and ravines, right at the sea for better and closer access to fish and blubber. Maligin is the most popular second name in Koida. The family line that started with one of the village founders, Ivan Maligin, has grown to such an extent that probably all Koida residents, without exception, are related to each other, however distantly. Fellow villagers know Nikolai Maligin as Jack of all trades. People like him are hard to find nowadays. Gifted by nature, he used to construct houses, sew boats, manufacture furniture, and build masonry ovens. Unfortunately, a serious illness has left Nikolai incapable of doing almost any job. Still, he keeps memory of Koida, knowing more than anyone about Pomors. Everyone's Maligin in our family. Everyone from both sides. All Maligin. My paternal grandmother had 14 children. 4 died as infants, but she brought up the other 10, and everyone had children of their own. Everyone had a family. Pomor families always had many children. History knows many a great member of this bloodline. Great-grandfather of Nikolai was a wealthy and learned man. They were intelligent people, and they had a big family. His house up there hosted a school for many years, and to this day, a 2-storied building remains there. There were sailing vessels in that school. He used to go to Norway and bring Norwegians who wanted to learn Russian. In that school, in his house, you could hear people speaking Norwegian language, people who came to study Russian. May the memory never perish. They were learned and intelligent people, diligent, hardworking. Nikolai Maligin's grandfather served as a boatswain on a cruiser Diana in the Russo-Japanese War, and his father was the best shooter in the area. Witnesses said that my father had a good aim in hunting. When they put a target on ice, an empty bottle with its opening facing the shooter, the bullet would go in through the hole and leave through the bottom. Koida was one of the main centers for old ritualists, separated from the rest of the world with impassable wetlands. Old believers felt safe here. Now, only oath crosses remind of those days. People used to put them up. During fishing season, there's a risk of getting caught in a storm, a so-called fetch. Fetch means it fetches you off and takes far away from the land. So people were giving promises or oaths with a prayer and everything saying, if we return, we put up a cross in this place and in that place. And they always kept their promise. First thing after coming back from fishing, go to church without even visiting home first, to hold a service for their surviving, and then the cross. They always kept their promise. In the early 20th century, an Old Believers temple was built here on villagers' donations. In the Soviet times, it was turned into a convenience store. To this day, there's no temple in Koida. The beautiful wooden church, the construction of which was financed in the middle of the 19th century by merchant Ivan Maligin, became a storage facility. Today, only names of Koida inhabitants serve as a reminder of Old Believers. In my family too, brother Lazar, sister Anfisa, Lyova, and so on. Grandma was called Domna, Grandpa Lukic, great-grandpa Luka. It's like that. On mother's side, Grandpa was Izasim. There were also Fyodor, Granddad Pieta, and many others. This is Oleg Titov, a prominent figure in Koida, successful fisherman, good master of his household. Having been born in Koida, Oleg still lives here. He learned the basics of fishing and hunting from his grandfather, and joining his father in the field, he gradually embraced the knowledge accumulated by generations of Pomors. I remember, as being young, I used to join my father when they went fishing for Atlantic salmon on the White Sea coast for the collective farm. Since childhood, nasty, hard labor. It was all done manually. There would be several stationary trap nets which have to be installed manually. Same with the lakes. They used to go to Kanan Peninsula for fishing. Winter, no matter what. Back then the clothes weren't so warm. No machines, nothing. They used to ride horses and deer. Women of Pomorsky area are a good match to their men, sharing with them all the difficulties of life in the north. When men go to sea, they take care of the entire household, both housekeeping and childcare. Life was harsh. Yes, they took care of the entire household. Work, household, children, feeding, dressing. Everything was on their shoulders.
The people here are nice, kind, but tough. That's the only way. The only way to survive here in the north. They would never leave someone in trouble. They help whenever they can, because we all have to stick together. Otherwise, you'll die alone here.
Stretching for dozens of kilometers around Koida are bogs, paradise for berries, and women need to gather enough of them to last for the entire winter.
I prefer gathering cranberries rather than cowberries or blueberries. It's easier to pick? Yes? Yes, it goes faster. Right, and did you pick cloudberries? And cloudberries. We've gathered around 20 liters, I guess. And we also sent some to Sergei and Serbinsk. Everything for the sun? Of course, for the sun.
Berries, by the way, are more than just a treat. Every year, businessmen from Arkhangelsk come here to buy cloudberries growing on local wetlands. And they give a fair price. Gathering these berries throughout summer can bring good money.
I don't like baking pies with blackberries. Why? I don't know, I'm not good at it. You mean pies or something like open pastries? Like buns, yes. Okay, why? I don't know, really. They bleed? Yeah, they kind of lose their shape.
At the turn of the 18th century, the Russian fleet had started its history here at the White Sea. Unrivaled masters of naval engineering created many traditional Pomor ships such as Koch, Ranshina, Shnyaka, and Karbas. But everything starts on a smaller scale with building a first boat. This is exactly what occupies the mind of Ivan Burkov when he's examining a handmade boat of his neighbor and mentor, Uncle Sasha. Finally, the time has come for Ivan, too, to build his first ever boat. Okay, Ivan, let's fix the keel. We need to put a wedge in here. Okay. It's not loose now. Good. Now we need to take a string and set up a plumb bob. This is a necessary step. Otherwise, the boat will be lopsided. That's how it is. And a lopsided boat is no boat. Uncle Sasha Popov is a famous master in Koida. He cannot even remember at this point how many boats and karbasses he has built, or as Pomor say, sown in his life. Koida people throughout their history have been recognized as talented shipbuilders and seafarers. Self-taught artisans have been passing their knowledge of vessel construction from one generation to another. This is going to be a bunk. That's for you to sit on. Okay? Here it is. We need to mark it straight away like this. Now to the bow. Here, we'll put a special reinforced frame Zakoryonek. Bow. Bow. I'm measuring it roughly. The exact point will be decided later. Okay, 60 centimeters. Tomorrow, Oleg is going to trawl flatfish. That's another traditional Pomor type of fishing, but it's too difficult for one person. So Oleg is taking his friend Misha and his all-time companion dog, Lotsman, with him. Hi there, fisherman. Hello. Watch out. Everything ready? Yes, let's prepare it. Let me. Sea is not to be treated lightly. Sailing out to open waters, you need to have a trusted partner who knows his way around tackle, has experience at sea, and won't drop the ball when it matters. Did you sleep well? Fine. Good. Yesterday I came home late. Sure. The weather seems nice today. Yeah, no wind. The wind went down. Yesterday it was a storm. Yes, it's quieter now. Let's put it on the clearing. It's flat. Here. Yes, okay then. Let's take out the boards. Okay, grab that one. And I'll take this one. Here we go. Spread it. Take the foot rope and the headline. Okay, floats on top. Let's unwrap it. You didn't sort it yesterday, did you? No, we went out last time, and it was such a storm. It's down now. It'll be better. Dragged up some rubbish, too. You know how it is on the bottom. All sorts of things. Yes, even rocks get caught. This tackle is meant to be open from the boat. Wooden wings unfold underwater, and the net moves along the bottom, taking up everything in its way, which doesn't always mean fish. These boards help it to move in the water. There's a weight underneath, so instead of staying like this, it goes like this along the bottom, dragging. It's like a ballast here. For extra weight, a boot. Yes. There are two ropes. One is tied to the headline, the other to the foot rope. They open it up. This is the mouth. It's also called turuji. At the bottom, it has a weight, a chain attached to it to make it scrap the bottom so that no flatfish can escape. Underwater, at a speed, the net will open like a huge purse. But the moment the boat stops, the purse closes and fish ends up trapped inside. If the choice of place and time is good, flatfish doesn't stand a chance. The key is not to forget tying up the cod end, a place where fish are eventually caught. Prior to a fishing, you make sure it's tied up. Sometimes, in a hurry, you forget about it. When the water is pressing, all the haste makes you forget about it, but it doesn't happen often. This time, everything seems to be in order. The net is checked and good to go. The forecast for tomorrow morning looks good. What's left is to load everything in the boat, and tomorrow at dawn, the friends can set sail. The science of shipbuilding is a tricky thing, and Ivan cannot get the hang of it right away. You know what, buddy boy? I think you weren't paying attention in shop class. Shop class? No. I got an A in shop class. Pomor mariners had very high expectations from vessels. In the short Arctic summer, they were supposed to cover thousands of miles in complicated ice conditions and strong storms. Everything in vessel's design had to account for that. When you put in the first strake, it can bend the keel because it experiences a huge load on wrapping. The board has to be wrapped almost 90 degrees. Here's the bottom, and here's the prow and stern. You saw how that board is positioned, and this is to prevent the keel from bending. If the keel bends, it's bad. The next step of building a boat is attaching the planks, and that's where pincers come into play. These are pincers. Let's shake off the dust. They need to be put to work. Harder, harder. Good. See? It's tight. And you always need to touch it there. Okay? Check if it went in and did the job. That's the idea. Almost half a boat is built. Uncle Sasha's exaggerating. Most of the work is yet to be done, and Ivan will have time to get sick and tired of it. But for today, the lesson's over. Both of them need to get a good night's sleep. Early tomorrow morning, the mentor and his student will go to sea to fish herring. And who'd be the one with a bigger catch, Oleg and Mikhail or Uncle Sasha and Ivan, will also become clear tomorrow. Waiting for a new day, Koida peacefully goes to sleep. Nights are growing colder, and far away in the sky, Aurora Borealis is lighting up. The breathing of the advancing winter can be felt here as early as in the beginning of September, although nights are still short like in summer. The next morning, Uncle Sasha and Ivan are preparing to set sail. Weather suddenly becomes calm and windless. Still, in these parts, everything can rapidly change in a matter of 1 hour. Well, okay then. First, take the net. The net? Yes, well, put it at the bottom. Okay. It'll be handier later. Out there on the wave, it's hard to sort through stuff in the boat, so the weather's just perfect. Our ancestors used to go too, and they weren't scared. Yes, but they had to go. That's right, they had to survive. Nowadays, people abandon all that. Yeah, fishing is dying out slowly. Sure, it's not that often. Today, it's easier to go shopping. Okay. Oh, that's a significant increase. Yeah, soon it'll start retreating. The water's rising. We need to hurry. It's low water, right? It's low water, but at least it's quiet again. True. The quieter, the better. For us. For us, yes. At least we'll have time to think. There shouldn't be any swash there. I mean, no big swash. No, there shouldn't. Put it here, at this place. Good. But next time, put it with weights down and floats up. Pomors have found their place in the history as unequaled navigators. Sailing since the 12th century, Pomors went beyond the expanses of their home, the white and barren seas. These northern mariners also knew secrets of many waterways in Kara, Norwegian, and Greenland seas. Yes, they knew seas really well. My grandfather used to be a barreler. Grandfather Ilya. A barreler is like a sonar. He would sit in a barrel on a mast and yell when he'd spot land. They knew it well. They were like sat-nav today, only they use brains. Sailing out to sea and coming back, Koida people fully depend on the ebbs and flows. Apart from the fact that everyday tides experience a time shift, there's also high and low waters. They correspond to the force of the tide, which differs around the lunar cycle. Twice a month, water levels significantly drop, making a time frame for coming out of the river much shorter. Uncle Sasha and Ivan have to hurry. As my grandma used to say, before any work you need to ask God for a blessing and say a short prayer. Of course, there were some old beliefs, like when you enter the sea, you need to throw a silver coin as a gift to it every time you go to sea. Hi, and where are you headed? Just looking for some herring. So you are teaching younger generation? Yeah, let them learn. Sharing your experience. I mean, seriously, only computers and TV, nothing else. It's time, it's time. We're forgetting our life, our traditional Pomor life. Let them feel the waves. The biggest danger for Pomors are cats. That's what they call underwater shoals. Hitting a shoal is a problem under any circumstances, but especially so when two currents come together at that place. The Pomor going to sea has to know where to expect danger. You need to react quickly. Even at 300 meters, it can be all quiet. But cats have these huge pillars of water. The water is flowing down there. If you end up there, the game is over. Currents coming together. What? Currents coming together. Currents, like a drain. Waves higher than a house. Accidents at sea are not rare. Even knowing every single cat and accounting for weather conditions, it's better not to go to sea alone. It is believed that father of Mikhail Lomonosov died after hitting a cat several kilometers away around Morzhavets Island. And stories like this are countless. One dawn makes the fisherman. Yes, we should move on. No point in whistling in the wind. Well then, we are off. Okay, good luck. Bye. Have a good catch. After agreeing to keep each other in sight, fishermen head off in opposite directions. Uncle Sasha and Ivan on a drifter will go to wide waters. Their target is herring. And Oleg with Mikhail and loyal Lotsman will start catching flatfish close to the shore. But first off, the trawl needs to be spread along the coast. For Lotsman, it's a unique opportunity to feel the land under his paws again. Lotsman, come on, land, go to land. Come on, come on. Go, Misha, pull it up higher. What? Pull it up higher. I'm gonna unfold it. It's the wrong way. Turn over the board. Meanwhile, Uncle Sasha and Ivan set anchor in deep waters. And then comes the rig. It's untied. Good. Tie it to the ears. Where's your end? Here it is. Okay. Where should I tie it? Tie it like this. To the edge. Here. Yes, look here. Where? Over here. Yes, yes, yes. Pull it through and then like this. 2 times. Good. Tightening up the knot now. Did you see it? No, I didn't notice. Drift is a stationary net held at one place with an anchor. Sometimes 2 anchors can be used. Underwater, drift net is opened up with the help of wooden ears and a float bobbing on the waves. Casting off the float. Okay, to open it up, it starts opening up. Okay, like this. If you don't put up the floats, it wouldn't open up. Half of the drift net would be crumbled. And also, it should be kept clean from all sorts of twigs and things like that. Sure, harder, it'll hold. You see, it can get all tangled. Mission accomplished. The only thing left for fishermen now is to wait for a catch. If there will be any. And that's how you set it. Then you go down about 100 meters and set one more. Usually when you go fishing for yourself, you put up 3 walls. Try to do it in a checkered pattern. Okay. Because herring is a schooling fish. It could swim nearby and miss it. Sometimes it can hit the very edge, 3 or 4 meters of the net. And the rest of it would be completely empty, not a single living thing. Meanwhile, the trawl of Oleg and Mikhail is spread out along the coast. They too need to start fishing already. It obviously makes Lotsman unhappy. Come here. He'll get here. Such a skipjack. I can hold it. Here, pull him in. We need to get him in here. You get it in, and then we'll start steering. I'll go there. Get him. Here, come here. Come over here. Good. Heave up the anchor then. Sure, sure. Time to move on along the shore. The boat tows the trawl, which is spread along the bottom. There's no way to know if it's collecting fish or rocks. Meanwhile, the wind gets stronger and starts blowing seawards. Not the best sign. The wind is wicked. Yeah, true. Fish like downhill winds. And what kind of wind is Galadai? It's a northeaster. Ah, mud. Raised all the mud. Pointless exercise. There could have been so many herrings. But alas, the boisterous wind from the land muddied up the water, and the drifter's crew has been left without a catch. Wind direction can decide a lot. A leg, and Mikhail's chances today are not so good either. The net, carrying either fish or rocks, will resurface any moment. Go on, give me a hand. Not too hard. Slow down a bit. Good. It's going to be in there. Here comes our sweetheart. There's the ear. There's something. Good haul. That's it. Flatfish are so nice and big today, right? Last time there were many small ones. Still, despite the Galadai wind, the fishermen won't go home empty-handed. Their friends are already waiting for them on the shore. Well, thank God. You're back. Finally showed up. How's your catch? It's you. You have a catch. We are at all zeros. Not one head. And you? Us nothing. Don't lie to me. Hit everything already, didn't you? So it's a fail this time. We'll wait for another one. Seriously, nothing. We'll get a ton next time. Lotzman's enjoying his own meeting. His blonde girlfriend doesn't share his passion for the sea and is crazy happy to see him on land. Dear, dear. Dear, dear. What? Just look at them. They're even rubbing our face in it. What shall we do with them, Ivan? I don't know. Nothing. No small ones today. You need to be punished. Oh yeah, brutally. The punishment is an evening meal. The treat is on the one with the catch. With Pomor fish soup and other appetizers on the table, it's time to relax and dream about the future. And the future is the approaching winter. Fishermen already look forward to it. You go to the river in winter, and it's pitch black. It's nice to go on boat in winter, but the whole village is there. True, day and night. From 5 to 80 years old. Everyone's at the river. We would sit there with fishing rods, be it ebb or flow, doesn't matter. Sometimes you can sit for 8 hours at a time. If the fish are biting, you can sit there for half a day or even longer. My personal record is 758 navaga in one day. And with the smelt, I got 256 of them in one go. The river is perfect for catching smelt and navaga, and it's close. If you are not lazy, you fish and you catch a lot. You can catch a lot. Navaga are many, and every year you can catch a lot. After visiting home, fisherman Yakov is getting ready to return to work. Just like that, his vacation came to an end. Ludmila is the sole master of the household again. Tomorrow, her husband will set off on the road again, but it's only tomorrow, and today they are having a small feast. A goose soup and freshly pickled cucumbers from the model garden grown by the wife.
They help me. My husband helps me when he comes, and my son comes to help me too.
I'm not much a help here. When I come, it's one thing after another, and then I need to leave again.
But mostly, yes, alone.
Alone, yes. Today is a farewell day in Koida. Once every 6 weeks, Bellamoria's ship stops by the village. It's the only connection to the world available to the local people. Previously, they could afford flying on a biplane, but sadly those days are gone. Ivan is going to Arkhangelsk for studying. Oleg and Mikhail are leaving to visit their families. And Yakov is taking a Pomor Karbas to return to his team in Big Kedi. They need to reach the fishing target despite the weather. But this goodbye is not for long. The winter will come soon and bury Pomor cabins in snow. Plenty of fish will enter the frozen river. Then every villager will be able to angle as much as he wants to, and getting together on the ice over their favorite pastime will be fishermen, strong-willed people of the water, the Pomors.